Today we're going to show you how to repair the door window regulator on the Prowler. We've seen failure in this mechanism as early as 6,000 miles. What happens is that the tubing in the regulator kind of wears out. So what happens is when you pick the window up, it kind of goes up cockeyed. You see, it goes up in the front. It's supposed to go up like so, you know, evenly all the way, but the back kind of like lags in the front, so you don't get a good seal. So what we're going to do is open up the door, pull the regulator, and show you how to repair it. So, to remove the door panel on the Prowler, what you're going to want to do is there's a couple of screws, one in here, one in the door handle, there's a couple in front. The back half of this kind of snaps in and then hooks over the top. So in order to unhook it, the best way to do that is to just leave the window down. And then we'll just kind of pop all these screws. I don't believe there is a screw in here. No screw in there. All right, so now we're gonna raise the window so we have access. We're gonna remove the water barrier so we can get access to the regulators. If you got an older car, it'd be a good time to check out your speaker. You can look at this one. It needs a replacement, obviously. I'm gonna kind of pull these two screws out. Now, at this point, it'd be good to have somebody hold the door, another set of hands. Hold the window, that is. And then once this is released, once you've released the window, you'll need to slide the glass back so that it slides out of this front track. So you want to carefully just slide it back, and then once it slides out of that front track, you just lift it straight out. And that's as simple as that. Now, to remove the actual kit we're trying to repair, you have 4 10mm nuts here in these locations. One up the top, one down the bottom. Same thing in front, one up down the bottom and one up the top. Then you have your 3, these ones actually hold the motor in. So we're going to go ahead and pull those off with a 10mm socket. And you're going to want to put this back in the same spot it came out in. Very rarely do you have to adjust it. I mean, you can adjust it, but if you'll notice, the doors kind of indicate where these bolts are. If you don't have any kind of mark like that on the door, you can take like a fine marker and just mark your locations. So this way you don't have to go back and forth trying to adjust the factory setting on it. Now once you're all unbolted, there's one more connection you've got to disconnect, and that is the electrical switch, the electrical connector for the motor itself. I'll show you where that is. That is right in here. So you're going to go in and kind of pull this out, and then you see that exposes this little connector, and there's a little push-in right here. You press that and you're able to release it. Now you're disconnected. So let's remove this door pull bracket to get a little bit more of the moisture barrier out of the way. Okay. Now, it's a little tricky because the mechanism is actually twisted in there. So what you're going to want to do is release the front, okay, and the back, and then get this part work through the front like that. Okay, then the rest of it will come out accordingly. All right, so here is the window regulator, and this is our problem. Over time, this plastic has a tendency to dry out from so much flexing in the crack, and this disables the window to operate properly. So we've designed a repair bracket, and I'll show you how to set these up. You're going to have 2 brackets. You're going to have 4 1/2-inch 1032 screws and 4 1032 lock nuts. You're going to need a 10mm wrench to hold the nut. You're going to need your T27 torque bit for the factory motor bolts. You're going to need some electrical tape, and that's it. So what we're going to do is set these brackets up for the motor. Now, you'll need a couple of vice grips or pliers, and what you're going to do is just kind of hold this, and there's a little arc right there, right at that little half circle, to bend it like that. And that's how you're going to set this up. Again, you're just going to grab it just a little bit past that arc, bend it at a 90, and then come back and bend that like so. All right, now as you bolt this to the motor, the main bolts are going to kind of force this to really wrap into there and snug in there nice. This is just a general area so that you can attach it to the motor. So you have 1 more to do or 2 more to do. You'll have same thing. You're going to grab it like that, just bend it down 90, and then turn this one up. This one, this needs kind of like a little like that. Okay, and that's how you're going to set these up. Do the other one real quick. By the way, these are made out of 304 stainless, so it's going to be a permanent repair. Not going to have to worry about these rusting out in your door. Okay, so now we're going to actually attach it to and repair the window regulator. So you're going to pull these top 2 screws out. Okay, so now you'll notice that, you know, one of these are longer than the other. Obviously, they'll go to their coordinating sides. Go ahead and put these back in and bolt these up nice and snug. Okay, now it's firmly attached. Next thing we're going to do is just to flex your line, and so that these holes line up, and go ahead and bolt those. Your kit's going to come with some lock nuts, so what this will do is to prevent those nuts or these nuts and bolts from coming loose over the vibration and movement of the door window as you operate it. You're going to hold that. Just going to screw this down. Press this one in. So we're going to put our second bolt in. Now, you want to make sure that this is nice and flat here, because this bracket has to come down over this. You don't want anything protruding. So you put your screws in on from the same side on both those ends. Now the brackets are installed. What this is essentially going to do is it's going to keep this separation from happening again. We've noticed that there's a variable from the length from car to car over the years. They could have used different regulator manufacturers. So what you're going to want to do is, if this should be too long, what you're going to do is just kind of put a little kink in it, like so, take up the slack, and you'll line up your holes, bolt it in just like this, okay, and then go ahead and tape that, and that'll work fine. So we're going to just go ahead and band this now, and we like to use electrical tape. It's going to be waterproof, and it's going to be a long term. This kind of requires another set of hands. I'm just going to wrap this up nice and tight. I like to double wrap it. And we'll go ahead and do the other side.
Yeah, it actually makes it a little bit tricky.
So that's the complete repair. And we'll go ahead and set it in a door. Okay, so now we're going to reinstall the repaired window regulator. It's a little tricky. Sometimes I just don't know how these designers work out this. You barely have enough room to manipulate this in, but we'll go ahead and get started. So this is how your regulator is set up in the door. So we're just going to go ahead and start installing that. Now I'm in my basic area, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of bolt everything back up where it was. I would, loosely put on all your hardware. You don't want to tighten this up at this point. Now that we're all our nuts are in place, you're going to kind of force your motor back into the original position. So, snug it down first. At this point, you're going to reconnect your electrical harness for the motor. and then reattach it to the door. Okay, so now we can go ahead at this point and reinstall the window glass. So now you're just going to gently drop the glass in, same way it came out. Okay, and you want to line it up. You're just hitting it. Yeah. Now you're going to line it up back in these the original bolts. First thing you're going to do is slide this area into the harness. Okay, and then line these up. And then we're going to go ahead and thumb these in. And again, you can pretty much tell where the original setting was for the window. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, so now that the glass is inserted into the brackets and our screws, we can just go ahead and tighten everything up.
Good with you?
Yeah. These two screws, that's all you need for the glass, using your T27 torque. Tighten up your window brackets, guides. So now that you're all tightened up, you want to check your operation, make sure that the window is going up and down properly, which it is. Now we can move ahead and just reassemble the door. So you're basically gonna just kind of put back your moisture barrier here. And then you're going to put back your door pull bracket. Kind of helpful to have a little scratch awl like this to kind of locate your hole. Go ahead and screw this back in. Okay, put your whisker back in. Okay, go ahead and reconnect your window. Put your screws back in, the two long ones are for the front. And then your door pull screw. And then finally, your door handle trim.